My name is Dana Cassidy. I'm a senior at the University of Florida, and today I'm presenting my submission, the News Literacy Toolkit, as a finalist in RJI's 2022 Student Innovation Competition. When I first saw the challenge for this year's competition, I asked myself, what does it actually mean to be news literate? And when did I personally become news literate? As a college student whose prior education was solely a public K-12 one, I know I learned early on about standard American civics, but no journalism or the free press. In fact, it was then that I realized that I didn't have essential news literacy skills until I began at university. And upon further research, I realized it's actually a nationwide issue. Research from Stanford, MIT, and other institutions all point to a systemic lack of ability of people to verify facts and sources at a time when misinformation is rampant. This is when I realized what this challenge is really about, finding a practical solution to mend a systemic educational gap. The unfortunate truth is that sometimes people's first introduction to journalism is a negative one, especially if the medium of the bias is their own parents. Is a problem rooted in a lack of understanding and confusing miscommunication about what purpose journalists actually serve. And this is an alarming issue, especially in light of local newspapers dwindling. It's why there's such a dire need for a practical solution. So, in order to cultivate communities of knowledgeable news readers, we need a solution that introduces news literacy in an unbiased, educator-approved way, one that creates a safe and honest dialogue about the media. And it's important to do so in a technology-centered medium and is inspired by how civics is already taught. So how could I tangibly come up with this solution? One that can educate someone on important media concepts, is free and easily accessible by anyone, anywhere, and actually improves news literacy. All of this and more is exactly why I created the News Literacy Toolkit, a free interactive web application designed to teach the next generation of informed news consumers, fifth graders. Fifth grade is an age where one starts becoming really active online and are learning about civics. This age group is developing critical thinking skills and becoming curious about the world that they live in. And they've also spent recent years learning online due to the pandemic. So, with everything being said, I'm very proud to present the News Literacy Toolkit. Welcome to the News Literacy Toolkit. This free-to-use site works on all devices and serves as a hands-on experience for fifth graders to become media literate. The highlight of the toolkit is the interactive reading portion. It's built in a slideshow-like manner with easy-to-read text and graphics. There are 7 chapters, or modules, that break down the most important aspects of news literacy, such as, why is the news important? And how do I tell if information is real? The next component of the site is a scrollable graphic guide about navigating information on social media. After the reading and social media guide, a user can check their mastery in the ultimate quiz. There's also the Newspaper Locator 3000, an interactive, zoomable map of more than 400 plus local newspapers across the US. And don't forget about the in-person activities section with immersive journalism-themed assignments. And then there's the News for Kids section with curated links to news content geared specifically for kids. Explore and play with the site in its entirety after the presentation at www.newsliteracytoolkit.com. The News Literacy Toolkit, teaching the next generation of informed news consumers. So, just to recap, the toolkit consists of 7 unique chapters of interactive reading, a scrollable social media guide, a quiz to test one's news knowledge, a zoomable map and searchable database of local newspapers across the country, detailed in-person activities, and a curated section of resources for child-specific news. In short, free, fun, fully functional, and accessible with just a link. I built and designed everything based on research of current educational products on the market. The entire toolkit is open source, meaning anyone can contribute to and access the code. I verified the quality of everything with professional developers who offered great feedback, as seen here. Now, I love the toolkit, but I'm clearly a bit biased and I'm not exactly the target audience. So I decided to take it up with the real experts, fifth graders. I was fortunate enough to have the News Literacy Toolkit used in real classrooms, as seen here.
We might end up with a few journalists in this classroom.
Journalists are regular people like you and me.
And in another classroom, fifth grade teacher Carrie Watkins was an avid supporter of the toolkit. And so were her fifth graders. They had a blast spending part of class working on the toolkit. Two of them even got an 100% on the quiz. To be even more thorough, I also individually tested the toolkit with 6 different fifth graders. The students began with little to no news literacy and all finished with passing scores on the mastery quiz and engaging in high-level discussions with me about the news and what journalists do. In fact, here's some pictures of me and some of my new fifth grade friends. We have Harper, age 11, and Max, also age 11. They both appreciated how well explained the topics were and how nice the toolkit's design is. And alongside the fifth graders and educators, journalism professionals approved and loved the content, as seen here. So to summarize the feedback, everyone, fifth graders, teachers, developers, journalists, loved it. They appreciated the design, the sleekness of the reading, and the quality of the content. So overall, the toolkit was a hit on its pilot launching. Fifth graders said they'd love to use the website as a classroom assignment or as homework, and it actually improves a user's news literacy. So why the News Literacy Toolkit? One, idea. This is an innovative way of teaching news literacy to a younger audience to promote long-term news readership and, in turn, promotes the lasting institution of the free press. 2, implementation. The toolkit is completely finished, tested, and free to anyone, anywhere in the world at any time with just a link. I tested with dozens of people across the country with 0 complication. 3, measuring success. Elementary educators and media professionals have overwhelmingly positive feedback, and the fifth graders who used it showed newfound news literacy comprehension. 4, reach. Anyone with a laptop, phone, tablet, or any other electronic device can use the website. It's free and takes under 5 seconds to type in the URL. And in the future, there is potential for collaboration with educators and nonprofits to further build upon the toolkit. Now, I've done a lot of talking, but I believe that the best way to form opinions about the toolkit is to explore it for yourself. And I designed the toolkit to be a hands-on experience. So let's actually head over to the News Literacy Toolkit together right now. Simply open up your browser, have a new tab, and type in newsliteracytoolkit.com. And bam, here we are. Super fast and super easy. The site works on any device, but I enjoy it best on my laptop or iPad. Explore, play. If you have a fifth grader, let them try it out. In conclusion, this is an accessible and effective solution to mending this systemic educational gap. Because to improve news literacy is to improve one's understanding about the world we live in and the trust in those who tell us about it. I'm Dana Cassidy, and this is the News Literacy Toolkit, teaching the next generation of informed news consumers. Thank you.